How about giving me one of your confirmations that was like a surprise to you?
I can give you the mother load when
The mother load.
yeah.
I love that.
Well,
He's going to give us the mother
yeah.
load.
It was during a session. This was years and years and years ago, and Spirit told you to take a etheric
Needle.
crystal,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
I forgot
put it
about that.
through my forehead, and take it through the
Back of your skull.
Yeah, and you had it in there for maybe about 1.5 and 2 minutes. Spirit told you to pull it out, and I heard you, which kind of shocked me. You go like this, and you go, Sean, get up and go look in the mirror. And I'm like, okay. There was like this red pulsating, like literally.
A red dot.
Yeah. And then there was one in the back. And literally, I was sitting there thinking, no one's going to believe this.
Well,
and
that
I knew,
lasted 24 hours,
yeah.
as I recall, but they were working on your pineal gland, and you really are a visionary. Your psychic ability has really expanded.
Yeah. I mean, that was, I mean, something I will never forget. And there's been a few chosen people besides right now, I'm telling everybody, but there's been a few chosen people that I've told that story to, and they just go, really? With their eyes just bugged out. And I said, as I'm sitting here right now telling you, that is the God honest truth.
Well, if people don't believe this, then they can go read the works of Plato.
Yeah.
They can, Joseph Campbell, Carl Jung, they were all teachers and explorers of consciousness. And there's so much information in their work. I mean, those are the three that I got involved with back in the 80s, and I've been doing this since, professionally since '85. So those are, and another one, Carol Mize is all about symbolic imagery and archetypes.
Yeah, I do know that.
Incredible information that's very, very helpful.
What's so funny is that, just like what you said at the very beginning, is that we are literally bombarded with symbols and archetypes, from like what you said, from logos to just even a simple car commercial to how do we feel, what do we want to feel like when we're in the car, and we don't even pay that much attention to it, but we get this charge from it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I understand that the audience has written out some questions, and so I'm going to answer some of their questions that they've asked. Thank you for being so patient. Okay. At what age do we start to understand symbols and archetypes? It is my belief that because of my experiences, that a child starts experiencing the world through its inner sensory system at 7 months.
Oh, wow.
It's taking in the mother's outside, the mother's feelings, the mother's emotions, and the outside world, and starts developing some attitudes and reach bursts. I'm not coming in, I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
That's an example
Wow.
of a child that's given
7 months.
They don't want to come in. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, can some symbols or images hold a negative energy? I think I might have covered that one.
Yeah.
We could talk about maybe some others. I remember walking into a gallery in Los Angeles and seeing a person who was an artist who had AIDS, and he put death in all of his series of art, and his pain was in there. It was all black and red and white, and I got so ill I had to leave the gallery because it just, the imagery was so intense. It felt like it took you to hell and back. I think that people should watch very carefully what they're watching on television.
That's what I was going to say. What is it? What is this with this fascination with people that love to go see these horror movies?
Violence.
And be bludgeoned to death. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I remember when I was a teenager, there was a brief moment where, I mean, I can go back and go, and there was like this adrenaline rush, but then you go, this is not how I want to think. This is not what I even want to be around.
Let me sum it up quickly, because we could talk a lot about that. It's adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's all about where they're getting their adrenaline, and most of it is not constructive. Okay. Scary is adrenaline. Driving
Yeah.
really fast, doing crazy things, it's all about adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's not just the boys, it's the girls too.
Yeah.
Okay? What challenges are involved when using our intuition? The challenge that I would say is most important to understand is you need to understand that your nervous system needs to be grounded and stable and clear, or you could be thrown around a little bit and not trust yourself, okay?
I've had exactly what you just said, where I've been on the phone with you and you've encouraged me to get grounded, you know, so I couldn't agree with that more.
The fastest way to get grounded, can I tell you what it is? For
Yeah.
everybody?
Yeah.
You stand and you imagine that your feet have roots that go down into the earth, and you stay with it, and you will those roots down into the earth and reach down there in the manna and bring it back up into your body, and know that you can allow yourself to feel the difference before and afterwards. It's incredible. And you may need to do that on the snap of a finger, to have that tool down so that you're in a situation where you're really being affected. You need to be able to do that fast.
Yeah.
You know, here's something that was really interesting. This happened to me yesterday, and I was thinking about the show, and I was thinking about you coming on the show, and somebody sent me a verse out of Revelations.
Okay.
And I need to read it.
Okay.
It's chapter 2, verse 17 in Revelations. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna. And I really believe that this is the way that the angels and the God force are able to communicate with our higher intelligence. It's primal, but there's a higher intelligence, and we are now developing through our DNA the frontal part of our brain. And this is how we can help our body align energetically with our DNA and the energy that's shifting on the planet itself. I mean, today we have a full moon.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have the fall equinox. We have the Grand Cross of last July setting up over us now.
Yeah.
We have, and they said on the news before I came that the moon and the sun were setting and rising at the same time, that they, you know, the sun goes down and the moon's right there to come up, and it hasn't happened in 20 years.
Wow.
So I think that's kind of interesting that we have that kind of energy
around us right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I could levitate out of the chair a little bit.
Perfect
you know?
time to do a show. No? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So is there anything else that you have thought about that you might want to ask me concerning archetypes or symbolism? Because we're going to close the show here in a few minutes.
You know, it's not necessarily a question, but I would just like to emphasize something that you have taught me, is that archetypes and symbols really help expand my communication with spirit, and it keeps expanding and expanding. And this show has just reinforced that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on the show,
Oh,
Sean.
it's been my pleasure.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you back one of these days soon.
Yeah. I'll call you tomorrow.
I want to thank, I would like to thank our sponsors, Westside Florist, Southwest TV Highway in Aloha, and Izzy's Family Restaurant in Southwest Broadway in Beaverton. And a very special thank you to our crew and to our audience. And remember to create possibilities in your life and expect miracles. See you next time.
Thank you for watching Create Your Own Reality, a program about hope, inspiration, and encouragement. If you would like to be a member of our audience for future shows, please email us at createyourownreality@hotmail.com. We are grateful to these local businesses for their support in making this program possible.